Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Merchant of the Month. This month we're going to do something a little bit different. On September 13th, there were a devastating amount of fires and explosions going on in the Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover area, and it affected the residents as well as the business owners. So this month we're going to talk to some of the affected business owners, and these business owners were affected pretty hard. And so I'd like you to hear their story about what happened and what we can do to help them recover.
My name's Tina Messina, and I am one of the partners at the Wine Connection, and also have a partnership for First and Main Plaza in downtown North Andover. Not only my home, but my retail business and my two commercial properties were affected by the gas explosion. And as a result of that, needless to say, we've been very busy just trying to make sure that everybody's coming back to be whole again. So, first and foremost was to make sure that our tenants were taken care of and to see the extent of what our problems were. Some tenants didn't have as much impact, others did. Like my store, we were able to be open during the whole time, but we've been hit in the sense that there's a lot of unknowns that's going on and people didn't know that we were open. Still, people are not sure if we're open and to what extent, whether they can get to the downtown area or not. So, we've been having some issues with people calling us, are you open? There's been a lot of construction as a result of that has blocked the ability to get to the plaza. That seems to be cleared up. The gas company's done a fantastic job in making that happen on a timely basis, and they were even so much so that the very last farmers market, they had stopped their construction so we could actually have First Street to have our very last farmers market. So we've had some good progress. Each and every day seems to get better. We're seeing more spaces available inside the plaza for people to come down and park, yet we still have a lot of Columbia Gas people down there doing their job.
My name is Sean Nagibi, and I'm from Shama Grill at 115 Main Street, North Andover. From the first day, actually the 13th, what happened is fire alarm went off. So we shut off all the gas, then we went in the parking lot, which is in the plaza. We weren't allowed to go back in for a couple of days, and after we went there, so we found out there's a few damage to the equipment, all the hoses, regulators, fireplace was kept burning that night. Even it was off, it just started flame coming out of there. And we shut down since then until last Wednesday, 2 days ago. And unfortunately, I lost some of my employees, besides the revenue part of it, which is it can be replaced, but I cannot replace my employees. These are the employees I had them for 5 years working with me. But they have family, it's the holiday season is coming, they need to make money. So some of them, they left. So that's our biggest challenge at the moment, to get full staff. And part of the damage impacted losing the gas in our place was losing our Christmas business, which is all year we look forward for it. All the companies, they make reservation, especially this year. Took us a while to establish ourselves. And we did have the reservations, like 120 people, 70 people, 50 people in the month of early December for holiday parties. They did cancel because we had no clue when the gas is coming back to our place. And I don't blame them, they had to accommodate the office, so they didn't know neither. So we ended up canceling all this reservation. And I'm sure most of the reservation, they come to restaurants the month of October, because ahead of the time they have to make a plan. We lost all our Christmas business. So that is the big impact, is financial-wise in our business. We opened up Wednesday night for the short period of the time. We found out there is still cleanup has to be done at the bar area, all the liquors, they had the fruit flies in. Unfortunately, we found out from the customer, even though they were covered, but they got into the bottles. And so we shut down, we reopened officially last night, Thursday night. Honest, the restaurant business is tricky. It's like a birds, they make a nest. When the winter time comes, they lose their nest. So, and they go somewhere else. This is our customers like a birds. we build them, they're regulars, they come over there for the last 5 weeks, they find another nest. And so it is tough for restaurant business to get the customers back. It is very tough. It's like not other businesses. But we are hoping that they will come back. Some of them, they did come back. They support us last night and Wednesday night. And we're looking forward to it. So we're hoping for the best. Sure, every year we have the gift cards, marathon goes on, and it will start another 2 weeks. So when they buy the gift cards, it's 15% off. So $100 gift cards will cost them $85. We encourage our customers and the residents to come and buy the gift cards. Then they can give it to their friends and the families or colleague workers. They can support us in holiday season.
Leo over at Amice's Pizza was hit really, really hard, and since he's just reopened and he's very, very busy, he's asked me to speak on his behalf. He got hit kind of in a double whammy. He was in the process of moving into a new location on First Street from his Waverly Road location, and when the gas outages occurred, both stores got hit. So it wasn't just, it would have been nice if he could have moved from a store where he had no gas to one that did have gas, but both locations were hit hard. He lost a lot of his equipment because it was all gas-fired equipment, so he's still waiting for reimbursement on that. And it can be a little frustrating waiting, but he's been very patient and he says things are moving. He just reopened on October 24th. He did keep some of his staff on payroll even while they were unable to work. Leo reopened on October 24th, and he had been closed down since the explosions occurred on the 13th of September. He was able to keep some of his staff by paying them, even though that they weren't working, but he did lose some staff as well, and so when he reopened, he's been crazy busy without enough staff to get everything going. Things are moving along. Equipment's been replaced, waiting for some marketing help. He's waiting for some reimbursements to occur, but it was a very frustrating time for him, and he wanted to make sure that people know, first of all, that he is reopened. He's happy that he's open. He's probably busier than he was expecting to be, and that's good after taking such a hard hit. So along with all the other merchants that were affected in the downtown area and the 125 corridor, just about all of them are open now, but it's been a frustrating time, and we want to thank all of the people that live in North Andover have been going to the restaurants and to the stores since they reopened. I'm
Tom Duggan from the Valley Patriot newspaper. We're located on Main Street here in North Andover. Well, we're a monthly paper and we're free, so we don't make money on subscriptions. We actually make money on advertising. So we're a totally advertising-based newspaper. And when the gas explosions happened, almost a third of our advertisers are in the affected area. So it was very difficult to send people a bill for their advertisement when they're still closed, and they can't take advantage of the advertisement. People can't go there and they're not making any money. So even now for this month, we've had several advertisers that are not paying. How can they pay? They're still not open and they don't need advertising. So that's kind of financially impacted us. Also, we had to go out and cover the explosions while they were happening. So I had to call in every volunteer, every stringer, everybody who works for us to try and get into the explosion area, mostly in the South Lawrence area at first where it started. And the cost of that is, you get like 30 people all working at the same time. It kind of adds up a little bit. I think the best thing that people can do to help is to patronize the businesses that were affected and keep them in mind. Businesses or people that want to buy advertising in our paper, whether it's wedding announcements, birth announcements, they're advertising their local nonprofit events or whatever. Like I said, we survive solely 100% on advertising. And that's what's kept us going for we're getting ready to celebrate our 15th anniversary. And that's kept us afloat for 15 years. It's kept us prosperous for 15 years. So I plan on going to Charma Grill to have lunch or have dinner sometime in the next week because I know he's been affected. And we've got Salvatore's restaurant that advertises with us. They have a full-page ad in the back, and they were closed for 3 weeks. And I know Mike Agricola paid all of his employees throughout the entire situation because they have mortgages to pay and kids' college to pay, and they have mouths to feed. And so he's taken a really huge hit, and a lot of my advertisers have taken a really huge. We're very lucky. I mean, I have a business on Main Street. I also live on Main Street, so we still don't have any gas right now. But as a newspaper, we can survive because we have electricity. But every day it's something. Every day there's something else that we're trying to catch up on that didn't get done or should have gotten done during that 2-week, 3-week span where everybody was there were still fires and things going on.
Hi, I'm Michael Smolak. I'm the owner-operator of Smolak Farms in North Andover. I remember being in my car and one of my tenants calling and saying that what's all the fire about? What's all the smoke about? What's going on? It looks like we're under attack. And at this point, I didn't know anything, so I turned the radio on to find out what was really going on. And I would say the fortunate part for us is that we're on propane and not natural gas. But the unfortunate part for us is that this occurred at the first of our very, very busy fall weekend days. With the fall being here, the bulk of our business happens in September and October, and that weekend was the kickoff to our very, very heavy fall weekends. And businesses like ours with Pick Your Own Apples really depend upon these weekend days in the fall to be profitable. And without these weekend days, we may have little or no profit. So this hit at a particularly bad time. This weekend we had scheduled Saturday and Sunday a fall military appreciation weekend. And normally we have about 400 active duty military families who come out for a weekend on the farm, and it's underwritten by ourselves and another organization. But the media reporting was that the electricity was turned off to the town of North Andover, and that, and it was chaotic, and nobody knew exactly what was going on. However, we, on our end of town, didn't have gas interruption, because we are on propane. We didn't have electricity interruption because it wasn't turned off. But the other side of it is that with the media reporting that 495 was closed down in terms of the exits, that people really thought that North Andover, Andover, and Lawrence were disaster areas, and they were very, very hesitant to come out. And who would blame them? No one wants to be in the middle of a disaster. On the other hand, you have those people that are curious about a disaster and want to go out and see. Scott Whitley from Wicked Bites on WRKO and the local radio station had me on and talked about the effect of what it had done in terms of our business. So, for example, we normally would have about 400 families. We probably had, I think, about 170 families that came out. And so that was a real dip. Never mind the ancillary business that would be there anyway. So we probably had a good 50% reduction in terms of what our business was on those 2 days. And in a business that has very slim margins, that really, really can hurt. I'm not complaining because there are people that have been much more significantly hurt than us, and certainly all our hearts go out to all those that are affected. I know I came down to bring some cider donuts, and there were 4 TV stations, and I know a lot of them because I happen to be close to Boston, and so I'm a convenient stop off for them for agricultural stories. And when I walked in there, I said to them, I said, look, this is not about me. It's not about me doing these things. This is about these people that have been affected. So I'm just going to go in there and drop these off, and hopefully I'm sure they got eaten. They told me they were. So I don't want it to be about any one individual or business. I want it to be about these people first of all, and then of course the ancillary stuff, how it's affected these businesses has been horrible. I mean, we have been open. A lot of businesses have not been open. And it's not just a function of the business being closed, but and their loss of profit. But what happens when somebody goes to a business to have dinner, a restaurant, and it's closed? They'll go someplace else. Maybe they'll never come back. And that is the issue that a lot of these restaurants are dealing with now, and my heart goes out to them. I know I myself will be eating much more locally for quite a while, and I encourage everybody else to do the same thing, because being part of a community, and one of the good things that came out of this, and you always try and see some good that comes out of these situations, is that as a community, I think the response of our town leaders. Andrew Mailer did a superb job of taking leadership, as well as our selectmen, and they did a great job, and everybody else, everybody pitching in. And isn't it refreshing to see people do something like this in the face of a disaster? And hopefully it'll carry forward into other things that we try and get done, not just in the town, but regionally and nationally. That's what I'd like to see. We're heading into the end of our fall season and into our early winter, Thanksgiving and Christmas season. Of course, with Thanksgiving, we have all kinds of stuff going on. We've got Christmas pies and Thanksgiving pies that we're busy making. And with Christmas, it's one of my favorite times of the year. We have Santa Claus comes out and Mrs. Claus comes out. We have a community tree lighting. I don't exactly know the date of that yet, but and breakfast with Mrs. Claus and children's activities and choose and cut Christmas trees. There is nothing nicer than to see families, by whatever definition or description, coming out and cutting their own tree or choosing their tree. And I always say that people say, well, what's the best Christmas tree? And my tagline is, the best Christmas tree is that tree that you and your family choose for yourself, because that's the best one, period. With that being said, winter comes, and then I'll be blogging on social media stuff as far as what's going on in the winter. And I've got so many ideas and so many plans to see what we can get done. It'll be kind of interesting to see what we do get done. But I'm optimistic, and hopefully all of this stuff will be a memory shortly, and we can all say we lived through it and survived it, and maybe learn something from it for all of us.
So thanks for taking the time to listen to our members tell you about the impact of the explosions and the gas outages. So the people you saw today, they were just a few of the impacted businesses. If you want to be able to keep track and know who you can help and how you can help them, please visit the NAMA website, which is northandovermerchants.org, and check our Facebook feed too. We'll be letting you know who's open when and how you can help these people out. We'll have a list of the affected members.